All right, you guys. So this is kind of interesting. We're talking about Nintendo today, and they just launched, uh, basically yesterday, info about how to be a content creator and use their intellectual properties, aka Pokemon, Mario, Donkey Kong, stuff like that. So let's take a look at this article. This article is from Game Rant. Content creators must read up on the new guidelines from Nintendo that concerns video games and image sharing platforms involving its games. I thought this was kind of interesting because you don't see Sony doing this, you don't see Microsoft doing this. You only ever really see Nintendo doing stuff like this. The highlights here for this article, according to Game Rant, Nintendo has introduced new guidelines for content creators, including restrictions on images, video sharing activities related to Nintendo games. The guidelines aim to establish respect between Nintendo's games and its creators who play and capture gameplay. Um, like I said, it's just kind of weird to me that Nintendo, out of the big three, is the only one that's like, here's guidelines. Content creators must abide by these rules, which range from monetization regulations to permission for using promotional materials and staying up to date as guidelines may be altered in the future. So it makes me wonder, like, if they're going to do like um, any kind of like big changes and not really tell anybody. Because, like I said, I didn't know anything about this until this article came out. And mind you, I did see Ludwig did a video yesterday actually talking about Smash Brothers, um, Super Smash Brothers Melee and Ultimate, so on and so forth, and how to do like the tournaments for that. And I thought that was interesting because like the title of it says I got sued by Nintendo, and I was like, I gotta check this out. Anyways, content creators will need to adjust some new guidelines by Nintendo when it comes to images and video sharing activities. A new wave of content guidelines have added restrictions that creators must abide by when they're playing and sharing Nintendo games, coupled with several frequently asked questions and for further context. Nintendo continues to sharpen its authority over its content creation regarding its products. Online creators continuously adapt to ever-changing atmosphere. The challenges that come with producing creative and original content only get tighter with the newly established community tournament guidelines for Nintendo. This right here is going to be talking about the Smash Brother tournaments and stuff like that. I'm not sure if what you call it. Mario Kart is involved in this. But it was kind of interesting to see them talk about what you call it, Smash Brother guidelines. Like the tournaments, they're like, oh, the max people you can have is like 200 unless you're running brackets, and then the brackets have to be ran on separate days. Yada yada yada. It's ridiculous. And if you want like a massive event, much like Evo, you got to actually get it approved by um, Nintendo. So there is still the ability to do massive events, but you have to get it done through Nintendo. Mind you, I didn't read this article, and I'm not going to get too far in depth into it. But I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder if it includes Mario Kart. Um, this will go in effect November 15th. While tournament enthusiasts will look into regulations for their own community events, content creators must abide by their own set of rules if they wish to continue generating Nintendo related media. It's an effort to help establish respect between Nintendo games and the creators who play and capture said gameplay. After admitting a brief update to its content creators' guidelines, Nintendo has also published a new set of regulations that touch online videos and image sharing platforms, which we'll get into that a little bit later on into the um, article because it's kind of interesting at some of the stuff they say. Um, but it's funny right here because it says Nintendo is humbled by its fans' love and passion for the games. Nintendo provides a few basic rules that won't deny the use of any digital products. This includes footages and screenshots that capture gameplay from Nintendo games, and rules updates to the original regulations that were established November 29th, 2018. Like I said, I had no idea that there was even guidelines to use Nintendo stuff. So right here is where we're going to get into the actual rules and regulations. These are the 6 rules that Nintendo's putting in. Nintendo has administered 6 new rules. They range from monetization regulations to certain permissions regarding promotional materials. The new guidelines for content creators are such as follows. So I know for a little bit there, back a couple months ago, people were getting demonetized for playing Zelda. I think it was Breath of the Wild. Um, and I don't understand why, but you may, let's get into rule one here, which is talking about monetization. You may monetize your videos and channels using the monetization methods separately specified by Nintendo. Other forms of monetization of our intellectual properties for commercial purposes are not permitted. So basically, it's telling you you can monetize on YouTube, but you cannot go and try to sell said product. It's basically anything that other than you're cool doing it other than commercial purposes. I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my word. If you really really want to like read up on it, read up on it. But this is a quick overview. Number two, we encourage you to create videos that include your creative input and commentary. Videos that and images that contain more mere copies of Nintendo game content without creative input or commentary are not permitted. So they're telling you, you have to commentate. You have to, do this and put your creative input into it. You can't just like straight rip the game. You may, however, post gameplay videos and screenshots using Nintendo system features, such as capture buttons on Nintendo Switch without additional input or commentary. Wait, what? You may, however, post gameplay videos and screenshots using Nintendo system features, such as game capture button on Nintendo Switch. So, so is this saying right here, like it sounds right here in this first paragraph, that you're not allowed to use the like gameplay videos yada 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 without commentary. And then right here the second paragraph sounds like as long as you use the video capture button on your Nintendo Switch, you're good to go. I don't know. That is kind of confusing how it's worded. Um, you are only permitted to use Nintendo game content that is generated after the game has officially been released. Makes sense. It's telling you you're not allowed to basically get a pirated version of a game before it's released, do a video, and then release it before it actually is released. But you can use it after it's been released. Or if it's from a promotional material officially released by Nintendo, such as product trailers or Nintendo Directs. So you're only permitted to Nintendo, blah, 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 or if it's promotional material officially released by Nintendo. So it says, I'm guessing you can talk and commentate on officially released promotional materials. Okay, I'm cool with that. If you want to use intellectual properties of a third party, you're responsible for obtaining any third party permissions. That makes sense. That's like anybody that's in the creative sphere here knows that if you're going to use anything, like at least get permission or post the link to where you got it from. Like for the most part, whenever I do videos like this, I try to post the article down in the description down below. I know for a little while there was people getting like, strikes and all kinds of stuff because they saw a link that was not in YouTube. It's dumb. If it goes to Pokemon Center or Game Rant, which is a gaming news website, I don't see why you would do it. You are not permitted to imply or state that your videos are officially affiliated with or sponsored by Nintendo. So basically they're telling you don't be putting it out there that you are sponsored by Nintendo when in fact you are not. We reserve the right to object to any content that we believe is unlawful, infringing, inappropriate, or in line with not in line with any of these guidelines, which makes sense. I mean, they're trying to to protect their intellectual properties, Mario, Pokemon, so on and so forth. And I mean, for the most part, most of this stuff is it's broad. There's no real like, okay, this is hard set fast rules. Like basically they can like this last sentence right here is a catch-all. If they don't like something you said in your video, bam, they can take it right down. So yeah, I mean that's basically the brief overview of what's going on with Nintendo. Like I said, I saw this article. I was like, I gotta make a video about it. Let me know down in the comment section, like, why hasn't, freaking Microsoft done anything like this? Why hasn't Sony done anything like this? Why is it only Nintendo? Is it because, like, it's more, focused towards kids? Anyways, you guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.